Author, prophet and evangelist T.A. Ralekgolela has published a book where he aims to offer a glimmer of hope as the country and world are still battling with the COVID-19 pandemic. Titled Ritlopiala Faith for the Midnight Hour, in this book, Ralekgolela gives the reader a close look into how the pandemic ravaged and impacted individuals around the globe from a biblical point of view. And he joins us now via Zoom to help us unpack this book further. Dad, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us and a warm welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I wonder if you hear me where I am now.
I can hear you loud and clear. And Simpio here, thank you so much for joining us. Now, tell us a bit more about what this book is all about and where that burning passion and that burning need to pen it came from.
Yes, my dear viewers, thank you for the privilege of sharing space with me. I'm having a book with me, Ritlopiala, which was emerged right in the middle of the pandemic last year. When I realized that this pandemic to us, it was really a new thing to us that you have never experienced, especially as Christians, we were really perplexed to see something that we didn't know exactly how do we deal with this thing, and that is also killing the whole world. In the midst of that, I started to have one privilege of having a service where we had drive-in in our farm, and then the book was birthed there. When I see how people were discouraged and no way out, nothing to do. So this book is all about the Ritlopiala, which was a confession that in the midst of all this that is happening, we don't know how, but we confess that the Ritlopiala, meaning we shall live. That's how the book was emerged. And then in the book there, we were emphasizing faith in the midnight hour to show the people that our faith as Christians is not only faith in good times, faith in the mountain, but we can have faith amidst this pandemic. And then not only faith, because we believe in divine healing from God, but we were trying to show people that God, as much as we have been laying hands upon people and then they were getting healed from the Bible, but now this pandemic, we need to make our people to be aware that there are some rules and regulations that we need to follow in order to keep our people healthy. And we also emphasize that the scientific healing also is part of God's healing. That's when we started to show people the importance of distancing as the president laid out, and then sanitizing, washing hands, and then trying not to hug ourselves in meetings. And we kept that distance, which is written in the book. And we managed to go through the pandemic, and a little more and more, we find that our people were not in risk because of the book. And one of the greatest things in the book here, we started to deal with the conspiracy theories. And the conspiracy theories, we know as Christians that we were facing some theories like things like vaccination, and most of us as the Bible readers, we know that there's something that is called the mark of the beast or the Antichrist. So in the book, we're trying to show the people that this vaccination that we need as people is something that's going to help us. It's not yet the time for Antichrist. We will have Antichrist the day when he will be coming to the world. Vaccination will not be a mark of Satan to us, but it will be a vaccine like whatever the injection we take in the hospital. We were telling our people also that the G5, the generation 5, I'm using it in my house now to try to talk to the people that the G5 cannot be the mark of the beast, cannot be something that is injected in us to make us zombies or whatever. We put that in our book here. We also show the people the myth of depopulation, saying that as Christians we believe that there's nothing that can be put into our body to depopulate us or to kill the people. We believe that every country, every body, every scientist that we have, they check whatever comes to the body of the people. We believe in our country that they cannot do that. And we also told the people that nothing can be done by our own government with our scientists, because those scientists are our children in the country. They cannot use any vaccine to our bodies.
You know, Mr. Ralekholela, you're raising very pertinent points here, because it adds to the ongoing discussion and debates and some of the myths,
yes,
and the validity of some of these myths. I mean, you mentioned the mark of the beast, and I mean, how would people know that the vaccinations or any other incidents like the 5G perhaps, that it will be a mark of the devil or a mark of the beast? So how would people differentiate between what is right and what is not?
What we have done in the book and what our belief is as a Christians, 4 decades I've been reading the Bible. We try in this book to show that the mark of the beast, it's not something that is going to be taken. People are not going to take the mark of the beast ignorantly. Because if we think of the mark of the beast from the Bible point of view, the mark of the beast, it's something that will be so much full of benefits in the future that it's not going to be forced. It's not going to be put into people ignorantly. If it comes, it will be something that people will deliberately take it, okay, because it has got a lot of benefits when it comes. But for now...
And in addition to that, Dr. Ralekholela, I mean, there's 4 parts to this book, namely the secular, the sacred, the controversy, and yes, the balance. Just briefly tell us about this and what each part entails.
Yes, the secular means that we are living in the world. And the world where we are living is a world that is governed by people. It's the world where we have chosen people to lead us, but it is not the world that is led by the Bible. It's led by our constitution in this world. So we cannot force anybody to follow what is written in the Bible. We only preach to the people. Now, that is why for the people who want to take the Bible into the things like the mark of the beast, we are the one responsible to put it very clear to them that according to our Bible, chronologically, it cannot be this thing, or it cannot be something that is happening now in our presence, and it cannot be something that is forged in our lives. I'm talking to the Bible. But our world is secular. We have board, we have cabinets, we have people who make decisions that we have elected. We cannot force them to be theocracy, it's a democracy. So in the midst of that, that's where we need to know how do we navigate our life within the world like this? How do we live the Bible in the middle of the world that not everybody's living the Bible standard? That's why we have divided and talked about the secular. Secular doesn't mean that there's no God. Secular world means that they have their policies that they are doing. Our job as a Christian is to influence the policies and everything that is happening, okay, and also interpret the Bible to them.
Okay. All right. Dr. Ralekholela, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.